this month, which was the theme about, living in our authenticity. And we've done parts 1 and 2, and today I'm going to do part 3. Because in the last 2 weeks, we took a deep and beautiful look at being who our souls came here to be by exploring the qualities of the authentic self, and that support us in arriving at our center, the place where we began, the place where we remember who we really are, one with the one. In our textbook, on page 391, Dr. Holmes tells us, quote, "The eternal has placed itself at the center of our being. The discovery of this is the greatest discovery of the ages," end quote. And it is a discovery. That's what the journey through this human experience is all about. In the Unity teaching, which is our cousin, in his talks on truth, Fillmore, the founder, wrote this, quote, "The image and likeness of our spiritual body is as thoroughly defined in us as in the tree, as is the tree in the acorn. Does the acorn consult anything outside of itself as to how it should bring forth a tree? Certainly not. It simply rests in spirit and unfolds from moment to moment as moved by the impulse within. Exactly the same law is operative in bringing forth the God in man. The external, striving, wandering will must stop its restless seeking without and repose at the center. It must be obedient to that center and learn the language of spirit," end quote. So we've been learning the language of spirit, which are the qualities of our authentic self. I ran across some rules for being human recently that talk about our journey of discovery back to the center, and I want to share them with you. Rule 1, you receive a body. You may like it, you may hate it, but it will be yours for the entire period of this time around. Rule 2, you will have opportunities for discovery. You're enrolled in a full-time informal school called life. Each day in this school, you will have the opportunity to discover something about yourself and the way life works. You may like the opportunities, or you may think they are irrelevant and stupid, but you will always have them. Rule number 3, there are no mistakes, only opportunities for discovery. Discovering who you are in the process is a process of trial and error, experimentation. Failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiments that ultimately work. Rule 4, discovery opportunities are repeated until the discovery is made. If you do not make the discovery from an opportunity presented, that's okay. It will simply come back around in different clothing with a big group of friends. True. Rule number 5, discovery opportunities don't end. There's no part of life that does not contain these opportunities. If you're still breathing, there's still more to discover. Rule 6, what you make of your life is up to you. You have all the tools and resources you need. What you do with them is up to you. That's your choice. Rule 7, your answers lie inside of you. The answers to life's questions lie inside of you. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. Rule 8, you'll forget all of this. And here's a bonus, Rule 9. You can remember all of this whenever you want to. In other words, as T.S. Eliot wrote, quote, "The end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time," end quote. And this month, we've explored, we've remembered, we've returned home to who we came here to be, our authentic selves, and to accomplish this, we looked at 6 of the 7 intrinsic qualities of an authentic self, qualities that when we express them we know we're connected to our authentic self. Or qualities that when we focus on them and have an intention to express them, we call our authentic self forth, out from behind the masks we tend to wear to hide. Last Sunday was a cliffhanger. We were left hanging as to what the seventh intrinsic quality of the authentic self is, and I promised to share it with you this week, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. So to introduce the final bring it all home intrinsic quality of the authentic self, I want to tell you about a study that was done a number of years ago. A college professor had his sociology class go to the Baltimore slums, filled with poverty, violence, to take case histories of 200 young boys. They were asked to write an evaluation of each boy's future. In every case, the students wrote, quote, "He hasn't got a chance to make anything of himself." 25 years later, another sociology professor came across the study. He was extremely curious to see how accurate these predictions were, so he had students follow up on the project to see what happened to these boys. They were able to track down 180 of the 200 boys. Of the 180, 176 of them had pulled themselves out of the slums and had made something of their lives. They had, in fact, achieved more than ordinary success as lawyers, doctors, and businessmen. The professor was astounded and decided to pursue the matter further. Fortunately, all the men were in the area, and he was able to find them and ask each one, "How do you account for your success?" In each case, the reply came immediately and with deep feeling: there was a teacher. Well, this really piqued the professor's interest, so he set out to find this teacher. Fortunately, she was still alive, and she still lived in Baltimore. So he sought her out, and he asked the old but extremely sharp lady what magic formula she had used to pull these boys out of the slums into successful achievement. The teacher's eyes sparkled, and her lips broke into a gentle smile, and she said, "There's no magic formula. I just love those boys." So our seventh quality of the authentic self is love. Surprise. Bertrand Russell, who was a brilliant mathematician and accomplished, although controversial, philosopher in the early 1900s, wrote The Impact of Science of Civilization. This quote, "The root of the matter is a very simple and old-fashioned thing, a thing so simple that I am almost ashamed to mention it, for fear of the derisive smile which wise cynics will greet my words, with which wise cynics will greet my words. The thing I mean, please forgive me for mentioning it, is love." If you feel this, you have a motive for existence, a guide for action, a reason for courage. And he actually said Christian love. And what do you suppose he meant by Christian love? He meant the love that Jesus had. And what was one of the most beautiful teachings on love, of course, definitely another rule for living, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The thing is, it isn't just found in Christian doctrine. There's a version of it found in almost every one of the world's religions. Here are just a few. In Hinduism, do not to others which have done to thee would cause thee pain. This is the sum of duty. In Buddhism, hurt not others in ways that you yourself wouldn't find hurtful. That was from the Udana Varga. Islam, no one is a believer until he desires for his brother what he desires for himself. In Judaism, thou shalt not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Here's the deal. Our authentic selves are direct descendants of unconditional love. In the book, You're Redefining Moments That We Base This Whole Month On, by Dennis Merritt Jones, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be, he said this: when we strip away the many masks we wear, at the core of who we really are, we shall find the essence of love in its purest state. It is unconditional because it is without form. Love was and is the initiating spark of life, the Alpha and the Omega, and everything in between those 2 points. It permeates, animates, and sustains all living things, holding itself back from none, judging no one or no thing. The authentic self is love because it is the microcosm of the great macrocosm, the original self, big O, big S, infinite intelligence, being, presence, call it what you choose. In its highest vibration, unconditional love is the glue that holds all this together and exists beyond all conditions. Most important, love has selflessly individuated and imbued itself within us at the point we call our authentic self, end quote. We're each filters through which love flows without condition, and that it is we who, at the level of our own consciousness, our own belief system, shape and direct how love manifests in our lives. So think about this. If your authentic self is the direct descendant of unconditional love, then that makes you the perfect delivery system for love on this planet. What is required is that we turn love, a noun, into love, a verb. Then we actively engage in love, love for self and love for others. Here's a good story about actively engaging in love for self. A little boy was overheard talking to himself as he strode through his backyard, baseball cap in place and toting a ball and bat. "I am the greatest baseball player in the world," he said proudly. Then he tossed the ball in the air, swung, and missed. Undaunted, he picked up the ball and threw it in the air and said to himself, "I am the greatest player ever." He swung at the ball again and again. He missed. He paused a moment to examine the bat and the ball very carefully. Then once again, he threw the ball into the air, and with great conviction he said, "I am the greatest baseball player who ever lived." He swung the bat hard, and again he missed. "Wow," he exclaimed, "what a pitcher I am." Now that's a beautiful moment of self-love. So, can we have moments like this with ourselves? Can we have moments like this with each other? If so, then we'll be living more fully and more completely into and from our authentic self, the self that we came here to be. And when we, as Ernest Holmes said, let love point the way, then that's when we will have returned home and we will know it deeply and powerfully for the first time. So I'm going to take a moment to review all 7 of the intrinsic qualities of the authentic self. The first one was wholeness. I believe I have a handout for this. Do I have a handout for this, Larry? Are they all getting handouts of this week?
I'm getting handouts, yeah.
Let me see.
Yes.
I think I did. Yes,
Yeah,
I did, so you don't
affirmation
have
for
to
the
write
seven,
it
yes.
down. I gave you affirmations for it.
Right.
Remembering we're connected to the whole, connected to everyone and everything. Remembering that we're whole and therefore complete just the way we are. Remember warts, wrinkles, and everything. Reverence, recognizing the presence of life within all and honoring it as sacred. Fearlessness, facing life fearlessly, because I know that I know that I know I am one with God. Or as I slightly modified the quote from the Course in Miracles, if we knew who walked as us, there would be nothing to fear. Integrity, leading our lives in such a way that we wouldn't be ashamed to sell our parrot to the town gossip. Humility, being open to seeing a different point of view, receptive to new understandings, not stuck in what our perceptions or interpretations of things are. Equanimity, having a balanced and even state of mind, and not being whipped about by our human emotions, either negatively or affirmative. Love, finally love, remembering that your authentic self is the direct descendant of unconditional love, and that makes you the perfect delivery system for it on this planet. And that all that's required is to turn the love, the noun, into love, a verb. And that when these 7 qualities become the norm in our daily lives rather than the exception, we will know that we're living our authentic self. So, use these statements to help you stay connected, and these are the ones that I'm going to give out to you. I think, I am whole, I am complete, I am one with the one. I am whole, I am complete, I am one with the one. I revere all life because it is all part of the whole and it is holy. I revere all life because it is all part of the whole and it is holy. I know who walks as me, so I am fearless. I know who walks as me, so I am fearless. My outer actions reflect my inner wholeness. My outer actions reflect my inner wholeness. Yes. In humility, I am open and receptive to life. In humility, I am open and receptive to life. I face all of life's conditions with ease and grace. I face all of life's conditions with ease and grace. I am the perfect delivery system for love. I am the perfect delivery system for love. And when Larry passes the basket, he'll give you all handouts. I'm going to close this in a prayer. I don't like that feedback. So here's what I know. I know that I have an opportunity to live my life in authenticity. That I take these 7 qualities into my mind and into my heart. And I look to apply them daily in my experiences. Regardless of what shows up, I don't name it good or bad. Rather, I recognize that there is some unfolding to experience, some opportunity for me to open up to that is greater than my current understanding. I know that it will be revealed to me, and that it is indeed in divine order. As I take these ideas out into the universe and share them, I not only change my life, but I am actually the change I wish to see in the universe, unfolding in all who come across my path. In gratitude for this wonderful community, for these foundational teachings that we call Science of Mind, for my willingness to apply them in my life, and my desire to be the change I wish to see in the universe right here and right now. I say thank you, God, for it's all good and more good, and it's perfectly unfolding in all of my experiences right here and right now. So with gratitude and conviction, I release my words. I allow them to be so. So it is.
So it is.
So it's time